And sandbagged by Dave Colclough.
Sandbag, that's a nice word, Mike. Is that like a trap check?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
That's an old one.
Yeah, it's an American one, I presume.
Yeah, old American.
Old American, that sums you up, Mike, doesn't it? Old American. But now Andreas is put to a decision. See if he can work it out. He probably figures him for a king now, but we'll see. And there are the hands. King 5 for Dave. Pocket jacks for Andreas. Not too many draws on the flop, is there? So Dave's virtually telling him that he's got a king, unless he's thinks Dave's bluffing.
And he lets it go.
Yeah,
good fold.
It's a good fold, but it was a lucky flop for Dave, wasn't he? He kind of got involved out there, and he got a lucky flop in that situation, and managed to pull some chips back out of it. And here's the action and reaction. First to act, Dave, and he's called 3 times, raised 4, and folded no hands yet, so that's Dave.
And there's the responses from Andreas Hagen.
1 call, 1 re-raise, and 2 folds. And we'll move on to hand 16, and Dave's just crept over the 100,000 now. He's 101,000. Andreas down to 58,000, but doesn't mean a lot just at the moment. No panic buttons being pressed.
Deuce 4 for Dave Colclough.
He's on the small blind. See how he plays this. Obviously no hand value, but that won't bother him. He'll say okay. Playing anyhow, and he's raised it.
And raises it into an ace-10 from Andreas Hagen. So Dave was on the button, not the panic button.
That's very good, Mike. Very
Threw
good.
in the raise.
Andreas calls him.
And Andreas Hagen calling.
Andreas with the hand, a lot better hand, and Dave with the better position, as in on the button. Here's the flop.
Pair of 4s for Dave.
What's Dave going to do? Probably bet it, I would think. Hope he does, because I'm the first play I've called right in this match.
As long as you
please
say,
bet it, Dave. Please
as long
bet
as you say may, might, or probably, you're covered.
Yeah, well, he has bet it.
4,500 the bet. And Andreas Hagen folds.
And that's a good example of playing any 2 cards from the right position. Obviously no strength at all in his hand prior to the flop, but he raised it, so on, thus stopping Andreas from re-raising with the ace-10 out of position, and he got lucky at the flop. So good play from Dave there, in my opinion. You know, Dave now on the small blind, 4-6, and he's called. Andreas out on the big blind with 5-7.
Again, they've got makings of a straight between them.
Yeah, and no real card values, but again we're playing a pot. It just shows the difference between these 2 players who know how to play the game.
It's a lot of fun to watch.
There's never a dull moment, is there?
Deuce, 8, and 9.
9 of hearts, deuce of spades, 8 of spades. Potential straight draws. Obviously Andreas with a 6 would make the straight.
And Dave bets 3,000.
But Dave says, I'm just going to bet anyhow. To hell with it.
Andreas calls. And there's an ace, sorry.
Got to recognise that's ace of hearts. Andreas will be first to act, and I think Dave will bet again if he checks it. Well, Dave checks it.
Back.
Exactly right, Peter. There's a deuce.
And another deuce.
Dave will realise his hand's no good if he checks it here, so we'll see what he wants to do now. Unless Andreas gets to the trigger before he does. Because he's in the same boat, isn't he? So neither play with anything. Split pot if they both check it. Let's see who wants to take the pot, because any bet will probably take it.
$6,000 from Andreas.
And Dave, he'll keep looking and looking, but I don't really know what other play he could do other than re-raise him. And but he'll have to put him on a stone cold steal here, which will be a hell of a read if he can do that one. So I think he'll pass, but we'll see.
He does pass.
Thank God I got one call right, you know. I mean, good play from both players, though, and both I'm reading that the first one to make the play is probably going to pick the pot up, and what we were saying earlier on, where it's not the cards, it's the aggression, and the first person to make the bet when neither hand is held. And there's a rundown of the prize money, and the champion 100,000 euros, runner-up 50,000 euros, semi-finals 20,000, quarters 10,000.
Well, actually, each of these guys, since they're already in the quarterfinals, the loser in this game will get the 10,000 euros. The winner moves on to the semi-final, and of course a chance at the grand prize. Queen 10 suit.